Hey guys, welcome to the second recap video for the Season 4 of Let's Play Football Manager with this Liverpool team. Now, there's a reason why I've got this screen up at the moment, which is my little manager screen, and there's a reason for that. I would usually show the home screen, however, I realised I actually didn't show this screen too often when I was playing, but also because it's going to hide the league and all that sort of stuff, which I'll show you in a moment. But just to go over this very quickly, just to tease you a bit. These are my attributes here. I don't know if obviously you know if you know what these mean or anything. Obviously, if anyone does, then of course you'll find this fairly useful. But I honestly don't really take much notice of this sort of stuff. You know, preferred formation, which is quite ironic because I've only used that for like 2 seasons. The Cook Island thing, by the way, here, if you're wondering why I've got Cook Islands, is because I put my second nationalities to Cook Islands for some reason. I don't know why. I think it was like because on FIFA 98, if you remember FIFA 98, who of course remembers that, on the PlayStation 1, first FIFA I ever played, I always used to enjoy playing against the Cook Islands. But let's be honest here, I'm waffling to avoid the inevitable, and the inevitable is that we did not win the league. Yeah, Arsenal, as you can see, won. It really was unbelievably tight. I mean, it was close as hell. I mean, I can't describe how close this thing was. Of all the seasons for this to be the one that's not recorded, you know, it really was. Look at the top 2, Man United, finishing just 3 points behind them. Obviously, we finished 5 points. Chelsea. There was a time during, I think it was about February, when the top 4 here were just separated by about 4 points, and at that point it just looked like it could be anyone's game, and it really was that close. It wasn't like a couple of years ago where we just sort of seemingly ran away with it, and then United sort of caught us up, and then we fell back again. You know, it wasn't anything like that. It really was that close, and 3 losses, as you can see, 3 massive losses, which I will go on to talk about. But local down here, Wigan relegated once again after only 2 wins, as you saw in the recap video. In the first recap video, they only won once, and obviously 10 draws, not particularly good. Stoke, weirdly, getting relegated as well. They only won 3 times, not mainly because Tony Pulis isn't there anymore. He's at Burnley, who I've only just noticed myself, have gone down to 12th. I mean, they were never in no team really apart from Fulham were in danger of getting relegated, and I'll talk about Fulham in a moment because there's something I do want to show you. Birmingham surprise package of the season to come 8th. That's pretty decent for them. Level on points, in fact, with Man City, who they've done very well to recover after that very poor start they had. You know, it looked like they could be fighting a relegation fight at one point, when of course they employed Rafa Benitez, where he's fucked off now. He, I don't know, actually tried to sign him up on my coaching staff, and he said he wasn't interested. Speaking of which, I went through 2 assistant managers this season. I think that one of them, well, no, I think that was probably one of many reasons why we didn't win the league. I decided to sack Gary McAllister after a while because he just irritated the hell out of me, and really, I was probably one of the worst things I could have done, because I brought in another assistant manager, former Liverpool defender and former Liverpool coach, Maurizio Pellegrino. You may remember him, the former Valencia defender, and he was even worse. So yeah, Everton in the Europa League, Tottenham in Europa League, and West Ham coming at the bottom. I wonder if that's a signal of real life there. But Chelsea again finishing 4th, us finishing 3rd. Too many draws, I feel. That's all right. I mean, 85 goals, but as you can see, 30 inside the big 4. We can see there's way too many goals. We'll have a look at the stats since we're here. Player stats, and I think this is where we come down. The goals here, as you can see, Robin van Persie and Gianpaolo Pazzini. You may remember him in the first recap video in January. He was absolutely on fire. Rooney up there. Now this is interesting because Aguero, you may remember I talked about him being terrible. Well, really hard to describe Sergio Aguero and Babacar for that matter, because Aguero combined in Europe, and which I'll get onto in a moment, and combined in everything else, got over 20 goals, 25 goals I think he got or something. Actually, we'll just check what he got. History. As you can see, he got 17, this is in the league, 17 goals, overall, 24 goals overall, excluding the no internationals, excluding 2, got 22 competitive goals, which is, you only think is good, and 9 assists. The trouble was, it didn't really feel like it. You know when a player has got a load of goals, he's on this mad run of getting just tons of goals, but it just didn't feel like it. He was incredibly inconsistent, and none more showed than another game, which I'll show you in a moment. Kumar Babakar as well, his value has slid, but he's improved. He improved dramatically, in fact, over his performance last season. He got as many assists as he did goals for last season, and obviously a few more appearances. 16 goals, which is pretty decent. I mean, what you've got to remember is that I think I kind of forgot that he was only 21, which is pretty good still, but again, he was pretty inconsistent. I mean, then we go down. Daniel Agger is our next leading goal scorer at 7, which is still, that's not really nothing to do with him. That's just really good goals going from him. Then we have like Eden Hazard and Gerrard. Gerrard, as you know, is getting a bit older, so obviously he's going to fall. Paulo Henrique, I did bring him in. I will show you some of what he did. Now, Torres, I'll show you the team now, actually, as well. Torres, you can see they were in 4, but you may be wondering, what the hell, why has Torres only got 4 goals? He has been injured for half the season. He played poorly in the first half, and then in January he got injured and was out for 4 months, and then pretty much nearly 5 months, in fact, due to obviously trying to get match fitness again. Obviously, because you're not match fit. But this is the team here, and as you see, they're all on holiday. I've called Pepe Reina. I've just given him a nickname because it's that Jose Reina is irritating the hell out of me. Paulo Henrique, then. I bought this guy in from Sevilla, and he is a monster. I bought him in for £35 million. Now, if you look at his history, 17 appearances, 4 goals and 5 assists. Now, bear in mind, he only played for half the season, I should point out. That's still pretty decent, and he, in fact, ended up scoring the goal of the season, which I will show you, and again, in a couple of moments. But yeah, I bought him for £35.5 million. He's genuine quality, and he added something. What else we got here? A few of the younger lads: Atkinson, Sawyer, Dijan. Dijan got injured quite badly, as you can see. He's still for 2 or 3 weeks. I think he was injured for about 2 months in March. That was quite disappointing. I couldn't really use him. Atkinson, I sent Sawyer out on loan. He got a goal for the MK Dons, and he did all right in 3 appearances, which is okay. Here's another lad for you, Andy Fuller. He's only worth £220,000. Now, he was originally, when I signed him a new contract, he seemingly kept scoring a lot for the under 18s, and I thought, against everyone's recommendations, I still signed up, and he's done okay. He hasn't scored, but he did okay. He was like a sort of an assist striker. He was one who, again, did okay. Martin Kelly, another one, he did okay. Glenn Johnson was, back end of the season, abysmal. I actually had to find him 2 weeks' wages at one point. But let's go over the fixtures now. Let's start from the top. So we all know. Let's start from the top. Let's start from January 1. That Arsenal game, as you can see, we lost. The one, of course, that followed the first recap video. Elia, who's set the record for the most assists, ironically got the goal in the 88th minute, and that kind of set the rot, really. That put us on the way. Beat Chesterfield quite comfortably. A surprise loss to Middlesbrough in the League Cup semi-final at the Riverside. However, there was, of course, another leg, so we're not too bothered about that. And in fact, we went indeed on to win on penalties. Martin Kelly with a vital goal in the 81st minute. I thought maybe this time it's not our time, but Kalou, Wilshere, Enrique and Badizo all scored. Enrique, that was like his 3rd game, I think, and a few players for them missed. Gary Neal missing the decisive penalty there. Ends up in a 1-1 draw at Old Trafford in the Premier League, which was a decent. It was a tense game. It really was. Rooney scored, and then Agger got the equaliser quite quickly, actually. It's a very surprise loss to Chelsea, though, at Stamford Bridge. Even with Afellay getting sent off, we could not find that goal, and this is where sort of the frustrations of Aguero and Babacar came into it, because Torres was injured at this point. Pacheco, I don't know, let's be honest here, you're going to pick Aguero and Babacar over Pacheco, aren't you? But they just couldn't find the feet. Sure, Aguero gave us a lead, but Johnson, own goal, and Ramirez, I think that was an absolute thunderbolt, so I'm not going to show you because it'll take forever. But yeah, Ramirez scored a fantastic goal. And then we go into the Champions League against Real Madrid. You've just seen something, hopefully you haven't seen that. Karim Benzema, unstoppable. When he is on form, he is absolutely unstoppable. Ronaldo getting them off, but Babacar equalising for us, but Benzema then in the second half just went into top gear and just absolutely flattened us. But Danny Wilson got a vital away goal, which proved to be quite decisive. Well, let you think about that. We then went to the League Cup final and once again won the League Cup. Fourth time in a row. I really don't know how I'm doing this, but Taiwo and Berizzo, the defenders, getting the goals in extra time. Berizzo wrapping up there for us in the 119th minute. Taiwo was only second goal. It wasn't a free kick, unfortunately. It was a header from a corner, believe it or not. So we won the League Cup, and then again we went on to beat Tottenham 4-1 at Anfield in the league. We then lost to Man United at Anfield in the FA Cup 6th round. So again, no FA Cup for me this year. We then beat Real Madrid on the away goal rule. Danny Pacheco with the only goal to put it to 3-3. Of course, our 2 away goals in the Bernabeu were enough to send us through there. And then first ever loss to Everton. Chris Boyd in the 90th minute. I think this very game may cost, that and the Chelsea game cost us the league, in my opinion. We then went on in the quarterfinals and played Lyon. We played them in the it's not the Stade de Guerlain anymore, actually. It's called what is it called? I don't think it's there. The name of the if you can see what the name of the ground, I don't know. But it's not called the Guerlain anymore. It's called the OL Land. It's called OL Land. Or Olympique Lyonnais Land, I don't know. Anyway, we then went ahead and played City the game after and thrashed them. I don't know how it happened, to be honest, how we did that, but yeah, we beat them at Eastlands. We then, again, another thrashing against Lyon. Beat them 5... Oh, sorry, no. That's my bad. That was on Anfield. This is the away leg. 5-0 away. There it is. Look, full time from OL Land. Lyon Land? I don't know. Any French people, any French subs, if that's genuine or not, I don't know. We then went on to beat Villa 3-0, but then draw against United in the Champions League, and Old Trafford, just Rooney unplayable again. But I thought Hazard, it was 2-1 at this point. Hazard got a goal back, and I thought after a spillage from Asenjo, who was a beast, by the way, the good Man United goalkeeper, but Federico Makeda, poor defence, cost us there. And the 2-2 draw with Sunderland, that really sort of, from then on, that draw really kind of set the tone for the rest of the season, really. Beat Wigan, but then in the Champions League, in the semi-final, Rooney again with another goal, even though he did get sent off, and he is going to miss the final, which has not been played yet. We just couldn't find the goal. Aguero, by the way, missed, I think it was at Old Trafford, missed an absolute sitter. What he did was he went around the goalkeeper and then skied her over the bar. So yeah, Man United went to the final. Way, United, Scouse bastard. Right, then, oops daisy, hopefully you saw that. What that was, we then meant to Fulham 4-4. Absolutely incredible. I'm going to show you the highlights for this. Sorry, the goals. And just explain what was going on with this game. Because we had to win here to stand any chance of still competing for the title. It was up to Arsenal. Chelsea were out of this, by the way. It was up to Arsenal and United. And what happened was Hangeland scored for them to take the lead. And I thought at this point, that's it. We're out of this. I really did think we just had it. Yeah, we're not gonna. The title is lost. But straight from that kickoff, we did surprisingly well. In fairness, Torres at this point came back. This was, like I say, the penultimate game of the season. Gerrard was injured, but Aguero doing very well indeed. And what I actually found was, after about halfway through of action, from about March, April onwards, found why they were so terrible, and this is why they rallied to get a good total, I suppose, at the end of the season. It's because I told them to keep the shots down. What they do was they would, and Nathan Delfonso just puts them right back in the lead. Absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, what it was that they would end up having quite simply stupid, ridiculous shots from ridiculous angles. I think you've seen me moan about it before, and what it was, because I went to player instructions and just said long shots rarely, and Alfonso again get his second. It's 3-1 now, and we were just all over the place. Glenn Johnson, I was going ballistic at. No Agger. Paulo Henrique is playing there, number 4. And then from the kickoff from that goal, I'm just fearing the worst at this point when this highlight comes in. We have Glenn Johnson doing surprisingly well for a change. And then Aguero, Torres doesn't score at all, I don't think. I think Torres scores like his last goal in November or something completely retarded. And there's Aguero, really good. I thought Enrique was going to shoot, because that's all he does. I'll show you Enrique's goal of the season as well. It's a corker. It's the first thing he does as well for the team. I mean, it was against who was it? I think it was Sunderland. But there's a header. It's 3-3. We equalised. Danny Wilson there, and he really hadn't done anything, and he just came up with this screamer. But I'll wait for that in a moment. But yeah, so it's 3-3 now with about 5 minutes to go. In fact, there's 2 minutes to go at this point. Fulham have a free kick, and I'm thinking, oh, come on, we've got to get a winner here. We have to get a winner. And, we really had no right to be in the position we were in. It wasn't that great a game. But the second half, I've managed to fiddle the tactics around and got the right balance. And then Babacar puts us in the lead, 4-3. And I thought, yes, maybe we can go ahead and win the title. Hangaland's down, And I'm thinking, there's no way. There is just absolutely no way. But then 92nd minute, quite incredible. It was shades of Andrei Arshavin, to be honest. It was. I mean, okay, it didn't get 4 exactly, but Nathan Delfonso just pops up here. Berdizo just left for dead. 4-4. I mean, he killed himself to do it, but imagine that live. Just imagine that, and that knocked us out the title race. We couldn't win, and all that meant was we went on to beat Forest 3-1 and save Fulham. That relegated Forest and kept them up, because they got a point. They were in a unassailable position. So so that is very disappointing indeed. What I will do now is show you. Actually, I'll show you some of the awards and all that. We had Reina, Agger, Hazard, and Babacar in the team of the year, in the players' team of the year, which I completely disagree with. Gerrard was in the subs, which is like the first time ever. As you can see, it's basically United, Chelsea, one Chelsea player, United, and Arsenal. Alex McLeish, I didn't win it for a once, and I didn't even come in the top 3 this year. Alex McLeish doing very well at Birmingham indeed, which is quite ironic, but never mind. Even title-winning Javier Higuera came second for that. Here's the goal of the season as West Brom, Paulo Henrique. January the 8th, I brought him in the first week of the transfer window. And he basically just came up with this screamer. Absolute. Oh, I couldn't even. I mean, he only got 4 goals all season, but they were all very impressive goals. Here he is now, as you can see. He's on a yellow card. This is like inside about 20 minutes, I think, or something it was. But look at that. Boom. That was the very first thing he did, and I was just thinking, oh my god, what have I just brought in? Absolutely outstanding. Eden Hazard won players young player, which is fair enough. Van Persie and Pizzini, although Van Persie actually got it by the awards by virtue of playing fewer matches. Fair enough. Babacar somehow won Players Player of the Year, which is fair enough. Which I don't know. I think I'm just being really harsh. And Elia won Football of the Year because he got the most assists, I believe. And Arsenal, as you can see, 92 points, actually beat our record. Let me put it this: Arsenal won the title with 92 points. No team in real life has ever got that. Shows you how good that Arsenal team is. Let's see who they have very quickly then, as well. Kevin Doyle, Gignac. Oh, Gignac. That's why. How many goals did this guy get? 1, and 2 assists. Title-winning team. That obviously Cesc Fabregas, obviously. Elia, he got an insane amount of assists, not to mention 13 goals, I think, as well. Great. Sammy and Nasri. Robert Van Persie getting 32, as you can see. Absolutely ridiculous. They got Philippe Mexes, Ryan Shawcross, and Milan, Mignolet, Ramiro. That's a very good team. Admittedly, obviously they're all gone now in real life, but yeah, it's a very, very good team indeed. So what I'm going to do now, I hopefully should not be sacked. I hope I'm not. Show you the transfers then. Just the difference. These were the players that I bought in. Then we had Aguero, Berizzo, McGeady, Lennon, and Enrique. McGeady only scoring the one goal, which was at the back end of this season. Kind of annoying, but what are you going to do? Berizzo was good. Got his fair share of goals as well. I think he got like 5 goals. Not amazing, but he's but you know, even the best defenders get turned on sometimes. McGeady, bit of a flop. Got 1 goal. Few assists, not bad. Lennon, very good buy. Got a few goals and a few good assists as well. Very nippy. Once I got him to keep his shots down, and once I told him, you know, to look for the pass rather than the shot, he was excellent. And Paulo Henrique, making a very good start. I expect to see a bit more of him next season, though. Players out from last season. Obviously, this will change again when I come up with the recap video for January. For season 5, but Poulsen went, Balotelli, as we all know, went, Suso went, probably Fiorentina inquired, and probably in hindsight shouldn't have got rid of him, but you know, they were inquiring. I had a congested in the field. I thought I've got to free up some space, and maybe probably a poor move to get rid of him there, but what can you do? Jonjo Shelvey prospering now at Tottenham. His value has he seems to have risen. He's done well. He always seems to score whenever I see him. Joe Cole went on a free. Sunderland snapped him up, and he played well against us, actually. Also got Raul Morelos. I sold him for just under 4 million. Again, I just needed to get rid of players. You know, I really just needed to get rid of the midfield. Morelos, you know, he's getting a bit older now, and I thought 4 million for him isn't bad. You know, he's 31. I'd rather bring in someone like Paulo Henrique, who's like 23. David Wheater went on loan to Celtic, and we got an extra 65 grand for that. You know, so that'll pay Aguero, they'll pay 10% of Aguero's fee. Oh, sorry, wages for a week or a month. Danny Blake, I actually sold him on to Blackburn because people were chasing him, and I thought, again, I've got this congested in the field. I'd rather just get rid of them, make albeit a minor profit on him. And he's a defensive midfielder, so you know, I really didn't. I'm not a particularly defensive-minded person, so I thought sell him on. Steve Irwin. No, not the Australian. He went to Bristol Rovers on loan, and put Sawyer out on loan to MK Don just to give him a bit of game time, and he did, as I say, did okay. He scored 1 goal. So I think that is your roundup for this Liverpool team. I think that will be everything. Well, obviously we've got like 1 or 2 games to go. I think we've got like the FA Cup final to do and the Champions League. Not to mention the World Cup. I might do like a sort of. I think what I might do for season 5 now is do sort of 3 recap videos. I'll do a sort of transfer one. It's like September. I'll do one when it comes to September. I'll do one in January, and then I'll do one at the end of the season. I think that would be the better way of doing things. So there you go. There's the FA Cup final. It's going to be Man United and Birmingham once again. It's sort of this team. Remember we had Sunderland a couple of years. I think it was at Sunderland. I think it was. Let's have a look at the final team of the week. Dan Babacar's in team of the week as we beat Forest. And again, Sawyer, he scores. He just hasn't scored for us. Atkinson's there as well. Creating a goal. Again, Sawyer doing very well in the European Championship there. 2015 Europa League, which we're not in, thankfully. It's in Germany. And there you go, Babacar extends his contract again, so he's on for another 5-year contract. Let's find out then who wins. I'll have a look at that Holland thing in a bit. Oh, well, there you go. Manchester United thrashing Birmingham City there in the final. At Wembley, so no surprise there. United, they've got the FA Cup final to look forward to. To Champions League final to look forward to, as well as an FA Cup victory. We're just going to find out then, obviously, who wins that, and then I'll leave you. As you can see, Arsenal went on that insane winning. I don't know whether it's not winning. Probably was winning. Probably knowing them if they won the league. Very good streak indeed. Again, Sawyer playing. I think that's Atletico beating Villarreal. That's Spain. I thought that might be the Europa League. Turns out it's not. Just waiting now for this to. There we go. Atletico Madrid. Of course, it's Atletico Madrid. I don't know how. Even minus Sergio Aguero against Manchester United in the final. Let's have a look how Sawyer does again. Solid performance again. Can't really. And he's sorting himself out. So it's Man United or Atletico. Can Man United do the double? Yes, they can. Manchester United winning the Champions League against Atletico, who are minus Aguero in real life and all that. Steve oh dear, Steve Bruce. Well, to be fair, Steve Bruce has got Man United second, an FA Cup and a Champions League. Steve, let me just put that into context. Steve Bruce has just won the Champions League as a manager. Hey, United, you know what? You might have yourself a successor to Sir Alex there. And the next one, the 2015 Champions League final is going to be at Cardiff. Oh, that's one for us to certainly aim for. So yeah, that's the second recap video. This is probably going to be a very long video. Since I probably will make them a lot longer now, since they're more exclusive. So yeah, hopefully this hasn't bored you or anything. If it has, just say, then I'll try and type it up a bit. But I think that is everything now. I'm gonna go and start season 5. Can we retain our title from Arsenal and maybe beat Manchester United in the Champions League this time? They got beat us along the way. We certainly want revenge. There you go, United fans. There's something for you to cheer about after all this misery of the last 3 seasons. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Got more videos on the way. Destroy Humans will be on the way soon. I know that will be an interesting video. I just need. I've been quite busy over the last couple of weeks. Sorry, last week. Thanks for the birthday messages as well. And with that, I will bid you goodbye. So thanks for watching, guys.